Hey everybody, it's your buddy Choppadong, and this is just going to be a quick video of what do you do when you don't have any time. You want to play some baseball, you haven't done any research, you haven't had the time today, but instead you'd like to, at least get some skin in the game. You're going to rely on the DFS Army tools and the coaches to pull that off. So let's see how quickly we can build a couple of viable lineups here today. If you're not familiar with my work, go ahead and give the channel here a subscribe and go ahead and click the thumbs up button or ring the notification bell so that you get updates dropped to your phone when these videos drop, because they're a little bit random this time of year. We're getting ready for NFL. The draft kit is up and loaded. A lot of the strategy talk around week one pricing and reviewing some of these players is starting to ramp up. So there's obviously never been a better time to become a member at dfsarmy.com. So the link will be down there in the description or the comments section where you can click on that, get a little promo code down in there too to knock a little bit of discount off of your pricing, and jump in here and give us a shot, man. You've got nothing to learn. We're a coaching site first and a tools site second, but what I'm going to show you is a little bit of what I show people how to be a little bit more efficient with their research. So the first thing that I would dive into is I would go looking at the coach's notes, and if I'm playing on FanDuel today, I would use Matt's sheet, and I automatically see Kyle Gibson as a core play and a 5-star play. I mean, if I wanted to use Wade Miley, I could for 9,000. If I wanted to use Trevor Bauer, I could for 10,200. But I see this 7,400, and I can automatically see myself why he likes Kyle Gibson. That is way too cheap for the matchup going up against the Chicago White Sox, and Kyle Gibson's been pretty good most of the year. He's got some details and some numbers in here for you to read through. You scroll down here a little bit, and there are other GPP type of choices, but probably the best combination of floor plus ceiling for the dollar might be Kyle Gibson. So if I was running 3 lineups today, Kyle's probably going to be in 2 of them. He might even be in all 3, unless I can find some value somewhere else and really load up on a Wade Miley or a Trevor Bauer, something like that. Because I don't tend to pay down for arms too often. I like to kind of keep things a little bit more on the conservative side. And really and truly, the better players are typically the better players. So I don't want to gamble too much with something as important as pitching in baseball. Kind of like running backs in football. They're a very, very big source of your points. Opportunity is everything. Generally, the cream is up there at the top in the pricing, and so you're going to find your value in the other positions to make this play affordable. So it's a big, big bonus when you see a running back that is a backup running back that all of a sudden gets a start because his price is suppressed for at least that week. It makes him a very, very, very important play because of what it opens up. Strategy and pricing wise, and this Kyle Gibson day looks like it might be very, very similar in that he's cheaper than he should be by a couple of $1,000s. So we're going to jump on that opportunity and see what it doesn't open up for bats. The next thing I would do, instead of scrolling down here and looking at all the bats, I mean, I can see where some of these guys are going to go with the 4-star and the 5-star plays, looking at some of the core plays and read through some of the notes and stuff, and that's fine. But before I even jump into that, what would I do? I would come over here to the MLB page and I would grab CG's Stacks article here. It's on our main page here at dfsarmy.com, and you open it up and you pop up this little graphic right here. Obviously, you can read right on through all this stuff. But before you do that, you might see if you can interpret where he's going to go, where he's going to tell you to go. Same thing with the core pitching and such. So when I go to the stacks and pop out the pitcher page, I'm going to go ahead and blow this up for you because I see something very, very interesting. And I want you guys to pay attention to this part because we can see that the top stacks, this is organized top to bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in terms of overall numbers. There's a raw score here that you might watch: 21, 12, 10, 8, 7, 6, about 6, 5, whatever. So these are all kind of bunched up down in here. They start to separate a little bit here, but look for gaps. The 21 and the 12, that's a big difference. That means that that's a big drop from the top stack to the second stack. It's a decent drop from the second to the third stack, and then it sort of levels off a little bit from there. Every day is a little bit different based on these numbers and how things get crunched and how things get spit out based on matchups. But today is a pretty important day to take that top stack. If you're not trying to be in tournaments, if you're trying to be in tournaments, you want to be a contrarian. For all by all means, fade that top stack because there's probably an awful lot of ownership in it. Everybody sees it. But in a more conservative contest, like a head-to-heads, 50-50s, triple ups, even leagues like 10, 20, even 100-man leagues. Man, fire that thing up. Everybody else is going to get too cute for themselves, and why mess with it? So we're going to be looking at that top stack. We would also be looking at something else. So if I look at, say, the top 3 stacks here, Arizona, Baltimore, LA. If you just did that every day, you'd be fine. You'd be surprised at how unique you still are, even though you're kind of playing the chalk. You'd be pretty surprised at how unique you are. Or you could say, I never play the top couple of owned stacks, the top popular stacks, the top ranked stacks on the day. So I don't play 1, 2, 3. I play 3, 4, 5. Hey, that's fine too. If that's your deal, just do that every day for a while and track how it works. Don't go say, well, today I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Tomorrow I'm going to go 2, 4, 6. The next day I'm going to go 8, 9, 10. The next day, no, 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 no. Trust the tools that we offer. Trust the rankings that we offer. They're going to have their good days and their bad days. That's true. But trust them overall, over 2 weeks, a month, whatever. You're going to find out that if you stick in the top sections of these stacks, you're not playing these guys down here to be ultra contrarian. You're playing these guys mostly here in the top 5 to, say 6, 7, 8 stacks, and whatever you typically pick, you're going to find it's fine. Arizona, as I showed you, is very, very important today. Baltimore, LA, Minnesota, whatever, also pretty important, but let's play around with this. Let me show you what I would do. I would definitely be centering most of what I did around Arizona and Kyle Gibson. But where I would also go is I'm looking at these other, like leverage rank, ownership rank, projected rank, whatever. What I'm looking for here is the ownerships in baseball because it's a volatile sport. Sometimes it's nice to get away from the herd too, and I might do that with a lineup or two. I might put Arizona in a couple, and then maybe that other couple of offenses that I'm targeting today are going to be a little bit different and a little bit lower owned. So I would look over here not at the leverage rank, I would look at the ownership rank. Obviously, Arizona's going to be a top ownership, on the slate tonight, or at least they're projected to be. But now I'm going to start looking for differential. And we don't have a column for differential. So we have to create one in our head. If Arizona's the top ranked stack and they're the top owned stack, then that's a differential of 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. Hang on a second. And then when you get to the second one here, that should be a 2, right? I mean, well, being that they're the second best stack, but the third owned stack, that automatically gives you a +1. Let's try and find the bigger differentials and target those. There's the 5th ranked, it's the 3rd ranked stack, but 5th ranked ownership. So there's probably one of your sneakier stacks tonight. It's got a differential of 2. This one here has a differential of -2, meaning they're probably going to be over-owned for the quality of the matchup. This is the 5th ranked stack, but it's 7th owned. That's a +2 again. There's the 6th ranked stack. It's a +9. Actually it's a +3 in ownership differential. And then when you get down in here, it doesn't matter. It starts lining up again. These guys are actually a little bit over-owned by this little idea or concept. So we would look at the 9, the 7, the 5, maybe the 3, and let's see where we go there. The 9, the 7, the 5, and the 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Who's that? Is that my 9? 9 is Cincinnati. So Cincinnati is going to be they're in a better matchup than their ownership should be, across the league, which means you've got some leverage there. When I look up at the 7th ranked stack, that's Minnesota, 7th highest owned, 5th ranked stack. I'm sorry, Kansas City, 5th ranked stack, 7th owned. Kansas City's got leverage. Duh. Kansas City's also pretty cheap sometimes. So you might be able to surround them with some of the big bats in Arizona and get yourself some leverage there. If I look up a little bit, LA had some, Baltimore had some. So these are guys that are in good matchups that a lot of people aren't going to be on, and these, at least according to their ranks. And these are the types of situations I would look at. So just to recap, I'd be focused on Arizona as my top stack, but as my secondary stacks, I might be looking for an ownership differential here, where I see a number that's too big in this column. It's close to the top, but it's too big of a number, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places down, and it's a 9, which tells me that's about 3 spots underranked. If that makes sense, then we can probably use this little leverage ploy across baseball. Now, don't tear down your entire system because I just told you this newfangled idea. I was just looking through a lot of the articles today, and this jumped out at me, so I'm going to give it a shot tonight. We'll see how it works out. May work, may not. I might do it all week long and see if I'm not onto something here, because I like picking out little things like this that these charts show us. This is one way to use the tools at DFS Army to make yourself unique and get a little bit of leverage, get a little bit of edge on the rest of the field. They can all use the same tools, but if we use them a little bit differently, we've still got the edge. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I would probably target the hotter bats using the trends tab in the research station to take a peek at how those offenses, the Arizonas, the Kansas Cities, the Minnesotas, whatever, and find those hot bats in those offenses, and then probably key on those as part of my stack. If it gives me a 1-2-3 stack, great. If it gives me a 1-5-7, great. I'll probably just use those guys that are hitting somewhere in the short term over a 400 WOBA and over a 200 ISO if I can find it, and load those guys in my stacks, and then go bouncing around on that coach's notes sheet back over here. And this might be where, wow, it blew up really big, didn't it? This might be where I go trying to find some cheaper one-offs. I mean, obviously he likes Milwaukee a good bit today. Maybe there's some spots in there that I might take as one-offs. Maybe there's some cheaper value plays. I don't see Kansas City in here just yet. There's Jorge Soler at 3,600 still. That's not exactly cheap, but it's not overly priced. And just keep scrolling down a little bit until we find Delano DeShields if he's leading off, maybe a value play there, etc., etc., etc. And we're just going to piece these lineups together and see how we roll them out. Hopefully you guys have some luck tonight. I know that I'm going to have a little bit of fun playing some baseball for the first night in a while, and we will talk more in the morning and see how things shake out. 12 minutes in, out. Have a good day. Follow the coupon down there in the comment section. Subscribe, become a member of DFSArmy.com. And always ring that little notification bell so you get these videos when they drop to your phone. Take care, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.